All right, let's talk about a tree that sounds like something out of a legend. It's been around for literally thousands of years, but it just might be the most perfect plant for our modern world. It's a tree that basically thrives on being ignored, laughs in the face of crazy weather, and gives us one of the most unique fruits you can imagine. So let's get into it.
You know, if you've ever tried to grow fruit at home, you've probably asked yourself this exact question. It feels like you do everything by the book. You get that perfect apple tree or a peach or a cherry, and then everything that can go wrong does. It's just a constant struggle, isn't it?
And the list of things to worry about is it's exhausting. Your peaches get attacked by borers, the cherries split if it just rains a little too hard, and don't even get me started on citrus trees. One cold snap, and they're done for. It feels like a full-time job just spraying, feeding, and hoping you have the right kind of dirt. It's almost enough to make you give up entirely.
But what if we've been going about this all wrong? What if the perfect fruit tree for our crazy lives and even crazier climate isn't some fancy new variety, but an ancient one? One that actually does better when you just leave it alone?
We'll meet the jujube, also known as the Chinese date. And that quote right there, that's not an exaggeration. This tree is a total outlier in the plant world, a true champion of survival that we're only now starting to appreciate for what it is.
So to really understand what makes this tree so incredible, we have to go back in time, way, way back. The story of the jujube isn't about delicate breeding. It's all about thousands of years of survival. I mean, think about this. For over 4,000 years, this tree has been a huge deal in Chinese culture. It was so unbelievably tough and easy to grow in dry, difficult places that it became a critical food source all along the Silk Road. It eventually made its way over to the US in the early 1900s, but it's really only now that we're realizing what a complete game changer this thing is.
So how does it do it? What's its secret? How can one tree just shrug off drought, extreme cold, and terrible soil? Well, it's not magic. It's just a set of brilliant, built-in survival tools.
Okay, one of its cleverest tricks is how it handles the springtime. You know how other fruit trees get tricked by a warm week in February? They burst into bloom, and then bam! A late frost comes and wipes out the whole crop for the year. The jujube is way too smart for that. It just waits. It holds off on blooming until May or even June, long after any danger of frost is gone. It's such a simple but genius move that guarantees a harvest.
And the genius doesn't stop there. It grows this incredibly deep taproot that can find water when the ground looks bone dry. It's got thorns to keep deer from munching on its branches, and it just does not care about soil quality. You can plant it in poor, salty, or alkaline dirt that would kill pretty much any other fruit tree, and it'll be perfectly happy.
And get this, it can handle winter temperatures all the way down to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That is colder than most deep freezers. So this isn't just some desert plant. Note, it's an all-climate survivor.
Okay, so the tree is tough as nails, we get it. But what about the fruit? Is it any good? Well, this is where things get really, really cool. Because the juju isn't just one fruit, it's actually two. When you pick it fresh, when it's still kind of yellowish green, it has the crisp, crunchy texture of a fantastic apple, super juicy and refreshing. But if you just leave it on the tree a little longer, it does something amazing. It starts to wrinkle up, turns this deep reddish brown, and becomes a chewy, spongy fruit that tastes exactly like a sweet date. It literally dries itself right on the branch. No rotting, no fuss.
And here's something that just blows my mind. Gram for gram, a fresh jujube has 20 times more vitamin C than an orange or a lemon. 20 times. So yeah, it's not just a tasty treat, it is a nutritional powerhouse.
So if you're thinking, okay, I'm sold, which one do I get? You've got some great options. Lee is kind of the go-to all-around choice for eating fresh. If you want those amazing dried, date-like fruits, you go for Lang. Honey Jar is the one the foodies love. It's smaller but unbelievably sweet and juicy. And then there's Shanxi Li, which makes these huge fruits, sometimes as big as an egg.
So when you put it all together, the toughness, that one-of-a-kind fruit, the insane nutrition, you start to realize this isn't just some historical curiosity. This might actually be the tree of the future.
I mean, let's be real. We've been talking about how tough it is, but how much work are we really talking about here? Is it truly that easy to grow? The answer is absolutely yes. It's pretty much the definition of a low-maintenance plant.
And this right here, this is your annual to-do list for a jujube tree. That's it. Nothing.
Jujubes have no major pests, no major diseases in most places. You don't have to spray them, you barely have to prune them. Your job is basically to plant it and then come back in a few years to pick all the fruit. Seriously.
And as if all that wasn't enough, it has this whole other life in traditional Chinese medicine, where it's called dazao. For thousands of years, it's been used as a food-based medicine to help with things like anxiety, insomnia, even digestive problems. It's like having a pharmacy growing in your backyard.
You know, this quote just hits the nail on the head. In a world where it feels like we're constantly fighting with nature to get a decent harvest, the juju just completely flips that idea on its head. It asks for practically nothing from us, and in return, it gives us so much.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. With our weather getting more and more unpredictable and our time and resources feeling more and more scarce, maybe the most forward-thinking thing we can do is look to the past. And maybe this ancient, indestructible underdog isn't just a cool story. Maybe it's the absolute smartest tree any of us could plant for the future.